Hey guys, so we have another weekend of some very powerful and intense energetics coming through. We are in a weekend of Sun opposition Saturn that is going to be coming exact, and we are also in a weekend simultaneously of Mars trining Pluto. Both of these activations are going to be coming exact on the same day. This is some very powerful energy that we have going on. Mars and Pluto together, this is some type of very active transformation, and with Pluto retrograde right now, it's likely to be a pretty internalized process. The Sun in opposition to Saturn, this can create some pretty strong resistances going on. We can sort of feel blocked or alienated or some type of a way. These two aspects together this weekend is sort of a recipe for some type of building tension that leads to some type of creative transformation that is helping us to overcome some type of limitation. So we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot playing out this weekend. Could be a bit of a tricky weekend. Let's get into our chart and see how this energy is likely to be playing out and how it might be affecting us as we navigate through the course of this next couple of days. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today is Friday, August 12th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the weekend. We're going to be talking about all the energy that we have coming through this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, breaking it down day by day. But really, to start this report today, I'm sort of just going to be summarizing this whole weekend in terms of getting into the two primary aspects that we have playing out in congruency to one another. They're both big. The Sun opposition Saturn, like I said, and also Mars in a trine to Pluto. These are both coming exact. We also, I should mention, had Venus move into Leo late last night alongside of our full moon, and today will be Venus's first full day in the sign of Leo. So the Leo vibes are very strong right now as well, especially also in terms of what we are seeking after, what we want, what we desire, the sort of like pleasure-seeking attitude that is fulfilling us more right now along those Leo vibes. We sort of just want to have some fun, want to have some like joy, want to be a little bit creative, a little bit passionate, like maybe experience some romance and stuff like that. But in terms of the big aspects that we have playing out this weekend, it is a weekend of Saturn, it's a weekend of Pluto, it's a weekend of Mars. These are really coloring the entire energy that we are experiencing throughout the duration of the weekend, and they've also been building throughout the course of this past week, especially the Sun opposition Saturn. This is very much involved in our full moon energy, and you may have been feeling this or dealing with this throughout the course of what was playing into Thursday and Wednesday as well to some extent, but definitely on Friday. So let's just sort of summarize, you guys. It could overall, like I said, be a bit of a challenging weekend. Saturn rules challenges and obstructions and limitations that are necessary to bring a type of maturation and a type of growth, though. We need to not allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by limitations in the energy of Saturn in opposition to the Sun. This could make us feel, as I was saying, like a little bit alienated, a bit lonely, a bit misunderstood, and it may be like outside of that, it's like we may feel like things are just generally like working against us. Like we may feel like there are actual things like limitations or blocks going on to our communication or to our progress, like setbacks, like physical, tangible things that are like setting us back or preventing us from communicating with others, or that like just people or things are constantly getting in our way or holding us back from accomplishing our purpose, whatever that might be at this point in time. And also with the Sun and Leo, you guys, this is probably having to do with things that are truly bringing us joy and fun and or like creative, like personal creative self-expression type things, or just the ability to sort of like enjoy our life in some type of way. We may sort of feel like the weight of the world is on our shoulders, or things are really just sort of stacked against us at this point in time, or we're being held back from what truly like makes our heart sing in some type of a way. And it can just be really bringing up some internalized frustrations, just like simmering under the surface, okay? And when we add that as well, which we will get into, to this Mars and trine to Pluto, like this is just a period of time where we may be over it and ready to make some drastic changes. But anyways, it's likely, like I said, to be bringing up our personal needs actually for love and joy in this energy with the Sun in the sign of Leo, juxtaposed to duties, obligations, responsibilities, and these may be also so like geared towards like the overall good, the greater whole, like our responsibility to sort of like maintain like cohesion within the group or something like that. But with Saturn in opposition to the Sun generally, this is going to bring up themes of like duty versus self-expression, especially in the sign of Leo ruled by the sun. So, if we are choosing to sort of lean towards like needing to do the duties and do the responsibilities and do the obligations and being really hard on ourselves and being very self-disciplined in this energy and stuff, it is likely to trigger some restlessness, some inhibitions, and we're ultimately probably going to feel like really unfulfilled. And that could make us feel like more just like pessimistic or sort of like low vibe in this energy. This Saturn opposite Sun is a more like pessimistic, glass half empty, isolated, withdrawn, misunderstood, alienated, like these type of things. There's like boundaries or limitations to our ability to express ourselves or to communicate or to like share our light with others essentially in this energy. However, on the flip side of that, if we're like ignoring our duties and our obligations and sort of just like doing whatever we want, like to pursue that fun, to pursue that open-hearted nature, this could also cause actually conflicts with other people, especially in like authority situations or leadership roles, bosses, but it could cause conflicts with other people that are sort of like putting the water on our fire anyways. This is ultimately taking like all the fun of whatever it is we're seeking after. So there's a real need actually to establish some type of balance in this energy between duty, obligation, responsibility, self-discipline, and also personal self-expression and being able to pursue our passions and be like aligned with that open-hearted nature and just do what brings us like fun and joy and romance and pleasure and happiness. So we're looking for a balance between those things when we have these two planets in an opposition to each other. It's definitely an energy that requires compromise and, like I said, maybe feeling a bit low, withdrawn, pessimistic, depressed, alienated, like these type of things, isolated with Saturn in the opposition to the sun. But there is a positive use of this energy, you guys, and the best way that we can use this energy is by like, especially with Mars and Pluto simultaneously going on in the background, actively engaging in anything that requires focus or concentration or like diligent, detail-oriented effort that is ultimately something that will be very productive for us or something that will be rewarding for us in the long run somehow. These are the type of activities that are very supported and can help to sort of dissipate some of the more negative tendencies of these vibrations when they're in effect. So, if there's something that you've been meaning to sort of like get into and you haven't found the time to do it, like that requires some focus or it's like a more creative project that you're really sort of like doing some detail-oriented work or like working on, creating like plans for the future and stuff like that as well, especially in ways that can actively transform your life in any type of way with Mars and Pluto also in the trine simultaneously. This is the type of thing that is supported and where we will get the most like intrinsic value and that will make the navigation of this energy just a little bit more less bumpy, I guess we could say. So that is basically what I have to say about the Sun-Saturn opposition that is a major theme all weekend long. Now, I will say Saturday is when the Sun and Saturn and simultaneously Mars and Pluto both come into their exact alignments. However, the exact to the minute alignments for both of these activations is happening on Sunday. So Sunday is really like the climax of this energy, but Saturday it's likely to be very strong, very palpable, and we are building into it very much as well. Now let's talk about Mars and Pluto in the trine. This trine is happening from the signs of Taurus and Capricorn. Now this is a very, very strong scorpionic energy. Mars and Pluto are both the rulers of the sign of Scorpio. When they're in the trine together, this is a very facilitated energy between these two planets and brings up some very scorpionic vibes. Now right now we also have the south node of the moon in the sign of Scorpio. The south node of the moon represents karma, and it's what we are releasing ourselves from on a karmic level, what we are detaching ourselves from at this point in time. And with this Mars-Pluto trine today, on one level, this is also facilitating our release, our detachment from a lot of the karmic loops of the past through an active internal transformation that may be going on in this energy. facilitating release from past toxic attachments and complexes. This is a great time, very great time actually this weekend, in the face of whatever challenges that we might be encountering, to reform ourselves and our lives to become more effective at actually changing the world around us in some type of way. This is energy where we can really figure out what's wrong, figure out the root issue, figure out what needs to be fixed, make a plan, and actually do something about it. Actually make something happen that can make a very long lasting productive change. Energy for active transformations, and it can also really stimulate our ambitions in a lot of ways. It helps us to figure out, like I said, what's not working and what needs to change, these root issues, so that we can change it. We are actually doing it in this energy. You'll probably find yourself conquering some type of task or something that maybe you've been putting off for a while, or haven't been able to wrap your head around, or didn't know how you were going to accomplish, just sort of finding the way to get it done or something in this energy. It brings endurance and supports a sustained effort over time. It's stuff that we start doing along those lines, and this energy too carries forward. It's not it makes the whole transformation. It's not just we get it started and then sort of abandon the process. It carries through, and it formulates itself into a new version of whatever we are initiating in this energy. Promotions at work can also come up in this energy, and it represents gaining power along the ways that we are using our energy as well. So that's why promotions or just gaining some type of power in the workplace in this transit can also manifest. We want to avoid, though, being totally ego-centered, ego-based in the way that we are using our power and our force while this energy is in effect. And the changes that we are working to make right now, they should have some type of overall benefit in the context of our overall environment, or in the context of all the people and individuals involved. It's not good to act just specifically out of ego in this energy, or do things for selfish purposes in this energy, because then when actually in the future, when the more harsh aspects come along between Mars and Pluto, we can kind of get slapped around a little bit for doing that type of stuff. But the changes that we're making now should be to benefit, like I said, the overall whole, the overall good, and everyone involved in one way or another. Those type of active transformations, super, super supported in this energy. And it can create, like I said, long lasting, successful transformations of things. On a psychological level, we're talking about the Scorpio energy again. This is a very deeply psychological energy. It can help us to really get to the bottom of and understand our own motives, and actually, again, with this active transformation, start stepping into that, start operating from this basis of understanding that we are able to gain in this energy. And that can actually, again, have this consequence of actively transforming and recreating our own relationship to our own self, and therefore how we interact and conduct ourselves in the world. It really has this ability to create this active transformation, and applied to the self on a psychological level, almost be sort of a rebirth experience in terms of the energy. So lots of potential for internalized, especially with Pluto retrograde, internalized self-transformation. And also, again, with the South Node in the sign of Scorpio being ruled and represented by these two planets, karmic release is also very much associated with this. Very creative energy also represented by Pluto and Mars in the trine, and it can be very, like I said, helpful and beneficial to the success and the growth in terms of whatever transformations are occurring in alignment with this. Now, however, when we're talking about the sun also in the opposition to Pluto, or in opposition to Saturn, Mars and Pluto together, this could also bring some rage, unrestrained rage or ruthlessness in combination with, because, Saturn rules control, Mars rules anger and aggression, Pluto rules power and domination, and Pluto's also in the sign of Capricorn right now. And so this and trines facilitate energy. So there is an aspect of this energy that could translate into some really cruel or ruthless behavior that could be going on or playing out as this transit unfolds if the lower octaves are being acted upon. Clashes of wills as well, battles of ego, very strong and significant, vying for power also could be coming up, and trying to conquer and control are also themes of how this energy could be playing out generally. So that is sort of the context of what we're dealing with all weekend. just by the aspects that are present. Now, the moon will be changing signs, of course, throughout the course of the weekend and changing the vibe on an emotional level a little bit. On Friday, to start our weekend, the moon leaves the sign of Aquarius after our big full moon in Aquarius, enters the sign of Pisces. So we may be feeling a little bit emotionally sensitive to go along with all of the other building energy that is coming in on Friday. And so that's sort of basically what I have to say for the energy for Friday. We're dealing with a Pisces moon. We might be feeling, a little bit more withdrawn, generally a little bit more isolated, meditation, sort of just going inward a little bit, very supported in the energy on Friday. Let's move on and talk about the energy for Saturday. Now, Saturday, this is the day, like I said, when Mars moves into exact to the degree trine to Pluto. The Sun moves into exact to the opposition from Saturn. So we have that going on. Now, again, like I said, the exact to the minutes, like the exact lineups will not happen until Sunday. But Saturday, we are very much in this energy. It is very much being activated. We also have that moon in Pisces still on Saturday, but now it's no longer in the beginning of Pisces, sort of in the mid degrees of Pisces, and going to be forming an opposition to Mercury at 15 degrees of Virgo. Now, the Sabian symbol of 15 degrees of Virgo, where Mercury will be on Saturday, is a fine lace ornamental handkerchief. So again, sort of like I was saying in the energy on Friday, we might be feeling a bit emotionally sensitive, and actually moving into Saturday, we might be feeling that sensitivity taking it up even a little bit more, and we might be feeling like a bit emotionally fragile with Mercury at this degree, and them talking about the fine lace ornamental handkerchief and the moon coming into opposition. Bit emotionally fragile on Saturday, possibly in the context of all that is playing out alongside of that. Now, let's talk specifically about the moon in an opposition to Mercury, as this is also going to be coloring what's going on with our emotions in the context of these two exact big aspects that are simultaneously playing out. Moon in opposition to Mercury can cause a conflict between our feelings and our reason, our rationality. In Pisces and Virgo, we may want to avoid reality in the energy on Saturday a little bit, or the facts for some reason, or the practical details about things, or just be sort of like caught in some like emotional fantasy or emotional delusion where we're not really, paying attention to like how that actually would practically work out in like the real world. Or we may just not be like thinking or talking about things very rationally with these two planets and these two signs coming into opposition. Or on the flip side of that, remember Mercury does also rule dualities. Pisces has a lot to do with dualities as well. We may find ourselves having some like very like in-depth and sort of like voluminous, deep discussions with other people about the state of like our soul, or about like how we're really truly feeling about things, about like the honest state of our emotions at the point in time that we are like experiencing this transit. It is not great for negotiations, but it is good for talking about and reflecting on and getting out, sort of bouncing our feelings off other people. Clarity is not super strong in this energy, but it is good for internalized self-analysis or talking about our feelings, like I said, in a way that is healing or transformational as well, with the Mars-Pluto trine going on simultaneously, that is also helping us to sort of like see the root issues of things and maybe really make some like big time changes about the way that we are acting and operating, even on like a psychological level as well. We need to keep in mind, though, in the energy on Saturday with this Mercury-Moon opposition, that our feelings are not the facts. They are just our feelings. They are just the perception in that moment. And, we may have a little bit of difficulty with that. Like, we may be really identifying with our feelings over like logical reason and the facts of the situation in the energy on Saturday. So we just kind of want to try to maintain that balance a little bit and not get like too swept up in sort of like emotional fantasies or ideals, or, lack of desire to sort of face the reality of a situation, with Virgo and Pisces also being the axis through which this is being activated. Let's talk about the Sabian symbols that we have playing out for a minute in the energy on Saturday. 21 degrees of Leo is the position where the sun will be actually before it moves into the exact opposition to Saturn. That Sabian symbol is intoxicated chickens dizzily flapping their wings trying to fly, and I feel like this is sort of like a very good embodiment of the energy that can be present when we have the sun in an opposition to Saturn, like really trying to get forward, really trying to make some progress, like really trying to do what we came to do, like express who we are and like meet our needs, but just like not being able to get off the ground, like not being able to do it. And then we have the Earth at 21 degrees of Aquarius, a woman disappointed and disillusioned, courageously facing a seemingly empty future. I feel like this is also a real strong vibe that's going on right now, like especially with the Sun and Saturn. We may just feel a little bit of hopelessness or a little bit of pessimism or a little bit of I can't see where necessarily this is going right now, and things look a bit bleak, but I am not giving up hope, and I am still courageously facing and opening to the changes that may happen and the direction that things may be realigned to at this point in time. So it is also talking about perhaps the sense of disappointment or disillusionment or alienation or just like all these type of things that Saturn in the opposition to the Sun can also bring. And then, like I said, 15 degrees of Virgo, where Mercury is, a fine lace ornamental handkerchief, emotional fragility today, possibly. We have Venus at 3 degrees of Leo on Saturday, a woman having her hair bobbed. I feel like this is also referencing this like personal transformation, like inwardly, that is being reflected outwardly, that is being represented actually by Mars and Pluto in the trine, but remember Mars is in Taurus, the sign of Venus, who is at this degree. And then we have Mars at 27 Taurus coming into the trine with Pluto at 27 Capricorn. An old Indian woman selling beads and trinkets. So I feel like this Pluto Mars trine, whatever's going on, and maybe in Pluto is also at 27 Capricorn, a mountain pilgrimage. We may be gaining some type of elevated viewpoint or elevated perspective or overall view that is helping us to rediscover the truth of our value, the truth of the resources that we hold within us, and like what we actually have to give. And that may be wrapped up somehow in this active transformation that is underway right now. So that's what I have to say for the energy for Saturday. Let's get into the energy for Sunday, the 14th now, which is again the critical day when these activations come exact to the minute. Now on Sunday, as a result of that, we are likely to be experiencing some more extreme tension or desire to take some type of powerful action. This extreme tension coming from the Sun in opposition to Saturn, this desire, this powerful urge to take some type of action coming from Mars in the trine to Pluto. And we also have the moon in Pisces coming into an exact conjunction with Neptune in the sky on Sunday. So it could actually, on one hand, be coming from like a very powerful intuitive urge or intuitive hunch or spiritual calling or spiritual guidance or just like something that we are intuitively feeling compelled or called to do. Could also come from a very strong desire to evade a situation, to escape reality. It could come from being very wrapped up in an illusion or a delusion or an ideal about something. All of these ways the moon in conjunction to Pisces could be playing out, but it's likely that something along these lines may be playing into or coloring whatever is building and pushing towards this desire to take some type of action to do something about it that is coming through in the energy today. A higher knowing or an emotional delusion. I don't know. It could go both ways. But meeting resistance with a powerful force and action that transforms something, powerful internal transformation and maturation as well. Pretty much name of the game on Sunday. Very, very karmic in nature as well. Mercury, you guys, on Sunday and moving into next week is going to be forming a trine to Uranus and the North Node in the sign of Taurus. This is some type of big, shocking, surprising news or information that helps us out somehow, that actually brings some type of clarity, that helps us get the pieces of the puzzle, that like puts things into perspective somehow, that helps us to move forward in a direction, sort of helps to clarify maybe some of the things that we've been navigating in this energy. This is very much building and coming into effect on Sunday, as Mercury will be 1 degree out of trine from the North Node, 2 degrees out of trine from Uranus in the energy that we have on Sunday. Now, in terms of the Sabian symbols coming in on Sunday, it's interesting. We have the position of the Sun on Sunday, 22 degrees of Leo in the exact opposition to Saturn at 22 degrees of Aquarius. This is what is causing that exact to the minute opposition. 22 Leo, where the Sun is, a carrier pigeon delivering a message. And then 22 degrees of where the Earth and Saturn are, a rug placed on the floor for children to play. And so some type, first of all, with the Sun being at a carrier pigeon delivering a message. I feel like this could be referring to some type of delays or blocks in information, like something that, like we're missing something, like some type of like crucial information that maybe we need to know or that we've been missing out on. It's like being delayed. I feel like that maybe is what is represented in this. Also, Saturn at that degree, a rug placed on the floor for children to play. This is sort of like, reminds me of like setting a stage for something or a setup for something, like something is about to happen. Some type of activity is about to take place. It's interesting also because we're talking about for children to play, the sun and the sign of Leo. It's like something is about to go on. The stage is being set for something. Something is being divinely orchestrated or put into place, but we may be delayed at this point in time and actually understanding what that is based on a blockage in a messaging that is coming through in some type of a way. I feel like this could also, though, be talking about some type of controlled environment that is, or presentation or something that is going on as well at that degree. We also have Mercury, 17 degrees of Virgo. Like I said, only 1 and 2 degrees out exact trine from Uranus North Node in Taurus right now, a volcanic eruption. Mercury, the messenger planet. This could also be some type of like eruptive news or anger that is coming through, especially in the context. Like there could be some real fights or anger or just like explosive, eruptive dialogues that are going on in the energy on Sunday in the midst of all of this, and especially in terms of this message, the carrier pigeon delivering a message. Also, there could be some type of eruptive information that is coming through or that is happening or that is occurring, dialogues, interactions, news, headlines, something, conversations, choices or decisions as well. I don't know, something along those lines. We also have Venus at 4 degrees of Leo on Sunday. A man formally dressed stands near trophies he brought back from a hunting expedition. So this also, again, Mars and Pluto. This is like an energy of hunting things as well. Like we could be really going after some things, like trying to really go after what we want in this energy. Again, like I said, it's kind of reminding me of like, we're not taking it anymore. We are standing in our power. We are actively asserting our power. We are changing our reality in a way that gets us those trophies, that gets us to our goal, that gets us what we want. Very strong, I feel like, in this energy. And with Venus at that degree as well, ruling the position of Mars right now. Yeah, there could be some interesting vibes going on today. And like I said, then we have Mars still 27 Taurus, an old Indian woman selling beads and trinkets, and Pluto 27 Capricorn, a mountain pilgrimage. So some type of, maybe it's like an arduous journey to rediscover the truth of our value and like what we really have to give and contribute and what our potential is and like how we can, create something that can be of use and benefit to others that can also serve ourselves in some way in the long run. Maybe this is wrapped up in our active transformation somehow, but we're also talking about the Taurus themes, you guys, the Capricorn themes. This could definitely have to do with breakdowns in power structures and power dynamics that are really pushing towards some type of rediscovery of our own like self-sufficiency in one way or another. Overall, this weekend, taking actions to improve and transform finances, projects, resources, supplies, food, materials, status, relationships, partnerships, values, value systems generally, preparedness, home type of stuff as well, happening in the signs of Taurus, the signs of Capricorn. This could also represent, like I said, like breakdowns and structures and authorities of the past and us having to like figure out how to be more self-sufficient or self-reliable or self-sustainable about things, trying to stabilize ourselves and our lives and use our own resources to rebuild what has been long-standing but what may be collapsing in this energy at this point in time. And also with the Sun and Saturn in opposition, finding the balance between our duties and responsibilities and what brings us joy and fun, actively transforming our lives to fit the expression of our authentic truth and our authentic desires. Like I feel like that is what this is pushing towards. And again, if we're feeling like sort of all over the place this weekend, it is a good weekend to try to like get focused in some type of detail oriented work that might require concentration and stuff like that, but is doing something productive that will pay off for us in the long run in one way or another. So that is what I have to say today, you guys, for the energy that we have coming in this weekend. A very sorry, I was just looking for my cards. A very, again, intense weekend and perhaps some big changes underway. Now let's grab a synchronicity card, you guys. Let's draw a card and see what message, advice, God, Spirit, Universe has for us this weekend. Just came up just like that. And the message for the weekend that we sort of need to use, it's so funny. It says change your thoughts. What I've been talking about, this active transformation that could be going on, some very deep and psychological levels. It says, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it, Isaiah 55:11. Whatever seed you plant will come back to you in its fruit. If you plant a bitter seed, you will get a bitter fruit. Sweetness will beget sweetness. Likewise, flavor your thoughts and your speech with sweetness, that you may dwell in a sweet life. Holding to your present thoughts will bring you unhappiness. That is the message from the synchronicity card. That is the message from God and Universe this weekend as we are going through all of this intense energy. Keep in mind, this is a process where we are actively transforming and changing our thoughts, and that is at least what's in our best interest according to God. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. That is my report for the energy on this weekend. If you guys liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested in like this kind of thing too. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I am so grateful to have each and every one of you here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your feedback. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me, you guys, next week. I don't believe I'm actually going to have a video coming out for Monday. I've got some things I've got to get caught up on. It's kind of been a wild ride lately around here, and I got to get caught up on a couple things, but I will be back, no worries, to guide you guys through the energy of the week next week. If not Monday, then I will see you Tuesday, and we will do a full week of astrology. So I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful weekend, and until next time, bye.